Bonsoir, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Our campaign is Reign of Terror. It was developed by Mark Morrison and is available on the Chaosium website. Our maitre de jeu is Beck Swan, and this is episode 4. That's right, 4. Our recap will be given by Thomas McKeon as his character, Sergent Terry Renaud. So, without further delays, commençons notre voyage dans les ténèbres. Thomas.
Thanks, Tom. Man, tonight we find ourselves in Poissy, home of the Count, in an inn near the town square. A day ago, if you remember, we left the palace in Versailles discussing many possibilities, all of which I'd like you to keep in mind. The 6 of us came up with plenty of ideas that we should discuss further in the morning once we perform a more in-depth scouting mission, something I believe we all agree we must do before moving forward in any capacity. As we enter the town of Poissy, I'd like to tell you that I felt a strange feeling come over me, a feeling of oppression and hate, one I know we all felt entering into the forest and town. All around us, people seemed suspicious, hateful, and reclusive, something uncommon of our country folk. We went into the inn posing as mere travelers, not soldiers, come to raid Count Finalizing's chateau. We were then given rooms, but decided to get dinner before parting our separate ways. Bon, it was smart of you to approach the villagers here prying for information. A shame they seemed too frightened by something to give us anything, but I commend your attempt. Michelle, I also commend your attempt to provoke the people with the pamphlet, but once more, nothing came of it. Jean, I don't think anyone would ever sing with you. I think your drunkenness is a problem, but we'll come back to that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Now, after our dinner, me and Pressy, we went to the church hoping to gain information from the town's priests. After all, the town's cathedral is filled with just as much gossip as it is prayer. Unfortunately, we gained nothing from the priest who stonewalled us. We then took a stroll down a path, a dirt road, that led us directly to the front gate of Finalizing's home. There we found a wall that one could imagine stretched the whole length of his property. We could not see anything from that distance in the dark, so the spyglass will most definitely be necessary. We must plan our scouting mission and devise a plan. Soon, I'm sure, the Count will catch wind of us, and he and his lackeys will surely be upon us. Now, to bed with all of us. We have a long day tomorrow. And that's the end of the recap.
Well, I'm going to assume that it's morning.
We did go to bed last episode.
We went to bed last episode and nothing has happened during the night, other than possibly someone got up to use the chamber pot.
I am not feeling good this morning.
Poissy in the daytime is much the same as it is in the evening. It's not an overly busy place, but there's certainly more going on than there was when you arrived.
If I may make a suggestion, Mon Sergeant.
Anything.
The people who have sent us on this mission, they have not told us that we must act as quickly as possible. So I think we should try to ascertain the traveling habits of Count Finalizing. So we should observe for a while just to see when he comes and when he goes. But I'm also thinking that it would be an interesting idea to have someone like Ugel or Babon or maybe Beaumont to meet up, to make an acquaintance with one of their maids when she is shopping for bread or whatever, maybe seduce her and suggest a rendezvous when her master is not there. You know, as they say, when the master is away, the servants will play. Well, the servants know his habits best of all. She will say, oh, yes, we shall meet in the barn at tomorrow night because I know he will be gone. That will tell us exactly when he won't be there. It is a suggestion brought on by my excessive drinking.
I'm not good for that, but it doesn't sound like a bad idea. I will. How about we do this? We send somebody else to try to seduce one of the female workers there, and meanwhile, I might go into the town square and might try to eavesdrop this, hear if anybody's talking about Finalizing, and seeing if he's going to be away from his chateau.
Joseph, Etienne?
Well, I think Babon would be just a little bit better at that. If he's not up for it, I'm willing to do it, but he seems to be the talker.
He definitely is the talker.
If that is what my country needs of me, then I can perform the task. But again, the rakishly handsome man with the wooden hand stands out. So I'm just concerned if
you can use that to your advantage. We're not talking about trying to seduce a lady. You're trying to seduce a servant. You can tell her it was run over by a cart, and she'll feel sympathy for you and want to help you deal with your pain.
Yeah, tell her something like you went to save a little child from being run over by a madman.
Well, I can tell you this. I could talk of my son, but that's something that don't worry. That is not my concern. It's more an issue of this count. If he's half as unsavory as they say, then perhaps his servants may be too, and we should be wary of that. But
you are correct, monsieur.
So be it. I will find myself a fair maiden, woo her with tales of my beautiful son Caesar and how I lost my hand saving him from an errant, improperly loaded cannon charge, and the rest will take care of itself.
I am not so sure you should mention your son. Make up a clever lie.
I hate your son.
No, but he is the light of my life. Do not worry, they love that kind of thing. He is, it shows that I am caring and loving, you see. We all have our methods.
Okay, well, you're the master of that, so we'll have to go by what you say.
Regardless, we need to observe the property and find a servant that leaves and comes into town so that we can follow them. And
well, what time of the morning is it? We must get up very early because servants get up early to do their shopping.
we're soldiers, so I imagine we're up nice and early.
Well, how about this? While we're at it, why don't we just spy on his chateau and see who comes and goes, and see, look at their schedules and see, if we're like day after day, if we see the same people entering and leaving, and perhaps we can have, follow them and get information from them.
Well, as I said, we might do nothing today except just observe.
Yeah.
Sergeant Renault, could you make an intelligence roll for me, please?
I can make an intelligence roll for you. Pulling it up now. That is barely a pass. It's a 60.
Well, with your barely a part, I was 60 out of 75. That's
It's
okay.
yeah.
Well, with regard to what Dupois said right at the beginning, you very much seem to recall that the mission was delivered in such a way that there was a very strong implication of urgency.
I do recall that Cat and Malone was referencing the fact that he was going to take the throne, like he was going to infiltrate. Okay, well then I will make that known. That I think Fenelix's plan is to infiltrate the throne through Marie Antoinette. So we probably have time, but we should act relatively quickly regardless.
Understood.
We should find a person, orchestrate an interaction, and then get inside. Just one of us. And then we'll have an idea of the interior, and then somehow we can plan a large on-scale entrance. Maybe a servant knows a way to get in that's not the front gate.
Well, our other idea was to dress up like an aristocrat.
We do not have the clothes for that, and that would take time.
And we don't know. I mean, if we just appear, they may say that we were never expected, and of course that draws attention.
Oh, no. If you're an aristocrat, you say, oh, tish tosh, tish tosh. I am here. Let me in. They're servants. What are they going to do? Have you not seen the way they act, these aristocrats?
They're servants, but they're not our servants.
Yeah, but they are the servants of the aristocrats. They'll comply. They would never want to hurt the feelings of an aristocrat. They're terrified of them.
But I do agree with Maman that we are and Etienne. We don't have the clothes. We can't afford the clothes, I imagine, right, Mick? Like that kind of cloth and
you I mean not only can you not afford the clothes, but you wouldn't entirely know how to wear them if you get what I mean. You there are lots of little subtle rules, sartorial rules that you'd only really know if you were genuinely a member of that class.
Besides, I don't know how to put on makeup. Any of you?
Very, very difficult to pull it off.
Well, monsieur, I could be the crazy drunk aristocrat who has smeared his makeup and...
Is this just an excuse to get you to drink again?
Fine, do whatever you want. Let's get on with this mission. I'm tired of sitting around.
So, yes, I figure I will watch the entrance, see if any servant girls or servant people of any kind come out, talk them up, do what I do as best as I can, and if no one comes out in a span of a few hours, then perhaps this may be something where we should act a little more rashly. If there's no in and out from the manor.
Agreed. I think that, Babon, while you're doing that, we should walk the perimeter through the forest, because there could be another entrance somewhere else. But me and Precis was a wall that stretched the entire length, but we couldn't see too far. It was too dark. So I think that if we walk the perimeter, we may be able to find like a hole or just like a small patch that we could slip into during the cover of night.
I think that's highly unlikely, but we can go over the wall.
Yeah, how difficult? Because you said there are spikes. Were they decorative spikes? I imagine they are. Or are they more imposing than decorative spikes?
They are designed to keep intruders out. rather than to fulfill a decorative purpose. They're just
Yeah.
single spikes. They're not spiked rollers
Okay.
of the
Yeah.
sort that you might have
That
on
would
a
just make it easier to
military
control.
base or a prison. So,
Yeah. It's not okay. Well, let's go ahead and head to the chateau.
I'm
Let's do
sure they will have dogs too. Maybe we should procure a little bit of meat before we head out there.
That's a good idea. I know that we talked about maybe slipping into the market and orchestrating something there. So maybe seeing the market beforehand is a good idea.
There is one other thing before we go. It is very likely that the Count is going to stay in Versailles because the Dauphin is dead. And he said that he was going to comfort the Queen. It's not likely he's going to drive the hours to get here when he should be there. We could just take the chance tonight when nobody is awake and see if we can break into the chateau.
That seems perfectly reasonable.
Just consider it.
So in the meantime,
It is risky, but you know.
it's that I suspect that may be the ultimate plan, though. I'll head out right now. I'll go meet up with the roadside, find myself a nice place to rest, and I suppose try to whittle myself a new hand. Something to do. So if anything unusual happens, where should I look for you people?
It's not that big of a town.
Yes, but if you do make the rounds, well, Sergeant, you know where to find me. I'll
We
be
shall
on the road.
meet back here, yeah?
I think that's a smart idea. Meeting back up here. This can be our hub. All right, gentlemen. And we have the spyglass, correct? I believe Yosef has it. He's the one that requested it.
yes.
Listen, if you have some information that you need to convey to the rest of us, come back here, leave a message, leave a note, and then go back to doing what you're doing, and we'll keep feeding off of each other's information.
Indeed. Quite the plan. And in the meantime, don't worry. I have my backup. Petit Prince and I, we will see that the mission is done. So, adieu, mes compagnons.
The dog
adieu.
is a good inn. The dog is a good inn. Help, my puppy is hurt. No, he's not. Just kidding.
What did I tell you, mon capitan? I'm a professional.
Yes. All right.
Actually, that would be interesting to know how people's attitudes towards dogs were. People might look at it and say, "That filthy thing. What are you carrying that around with you for?"
It's nice and cute. I think.
Dogs.
Then they stare into his eyes.
Puppies are always cute. Yeah.
All right. So let's head to the market. Babon, we'll meet back up here soon. All right.
All right.
Oui.
What are your orders, mon cher sergent?
Let's go to the market, grab some meat, just get some preparation before we head out into the woods, then walk the perimeter. Joseph, you have the spyglass, so take some opportunities to get some perspectives from different angles of the chateau.
Okay.
In general, I'm just going to hang with the sergeant, whatever he wants me to do.
So did you want me to stick with you in the market or split off and try and look
We should go as a group, and as we're circling around, you can take time to look through, and if you see anything interesting, we'll stop and just make note of it.
You don't think that looks suspicious? A bunch of people walking all together
In the woods. Hope no one
around
finds
the
us.
perimeter of the wall.
I don't think that we're going to be that close. I'm not going to be hugging it.
We should all do our own jobs. But Monsieur, you are in charge, Sergeant.
If Jean wants to go on his own, I'm not gonna stop him. We're mere travelers. We're not soldiers.
Let's investigate the marketplace and we'll take it from there.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So you're heading to Fenelix's estate.
I thought we were going to the marketplace first.
Oh, the marketplace. Sorry, yes, you're going to the marketplace first.
Babone is going straight to the chateau. We're going to the market and then figuring out what to do next after that.
Okay, well, it's very easy to get to the market. It takes place in the square outside the inn, in the shadow of the church. There was probably a time when the market in Poissy was a big deal, but now it's just 5 or 6 stalls selling the basics. There's a vintner, a boulangerie, a patisserie, and some other things that I can't remember from my schoolboy French. Like an ironmonger.
I forget, what is a boulangerie?
A boulangerie. Isn't that? Oh God! Now I can't remember what it is. Is it meats and cheeses? There are French people watching this going, oh.
All I can remember is that Dr. Evil says.
No, a boulangerie is a bakery. Oh, so what's a... What was I trying to think of? Oh,
Dr.
no.
Evil says, my father was a boulangerie owner. All right, so...
I was thinking of La Boucherie.
La Boucherie?
Which is a butcher's shop.
Is there anything of note that we can find here in the marketplace just on a cursory glance, other than people being kind of morose and being very withdrawn?
Well, they don't seem quite as morose and withdrawn with each other.
It's just us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It does seem to be that way. It seems that with each other, they're maintaining the social niceties in the way that people do in small French market towns. They are chewing the fat, as it were.
Can we overhear anything?
Oh, it's just there are dogs barking, and there's the sound of a man playing an accordion, and the sound of a great deal of shrugging, and it's just general chit chat. Good morning. How are you today? Oh, these look very nice.
Do we hear any overheard conversations concerning Finalic at all?
Make a listen roll.
25 out of 55.
It's almost noteworthy that there is no gossip concerning that house at all. No one mentions it. No one refers to it.
Do we see anybody who looks like maybe a servant from that place? I don't know how you would tell.
There are 1 or 2 people who look like they may be servants. They have baskets. They look like they're shopping above their station, one might say. But for the most part, other than day-to-day bits and pieces, most things will be brought in from the city. In a decent sized house, they would bake their own bread. That sort of thing.
I want to see if I can find whatever the cheapest meat would be. Not deer or boar. I just want somebody saying meat. What kind of meat is it? Meat.
Yeah, you can pick up some, some pigs trotters, and some scrag end.
Yep.
No idea what that is.
Whatever. As long as it's meat and the dogs will eat it.
Yeah, it's pretty much. I mean, the stuff you buy. There's probably you could find. I imagine the boucherie will have a few bones knocking about.
All right. So I see whatever
A few bits of beef shin.
when I can
Some
get it
such.
very cheap and just I don't know if we put it in a cloth or I'm not sure how.
A couple of bones, some scrag end, a few bits of gizzard.
Can I ask my group? Because I don't know. Does anybody have a rifle?
Not on me right now.
I thought they were all up in the room.
I'm just this is just a general question. Do you have a rifle in inventory?
Yes.
I
I have a musket.
Musket
I
from
was going to say none of you have rifles. You have musket.
Musket, rifle, yeah. If we were to go back to the inn, grab those, and then head into the forest, we're a hunting party. We're just looking for food.
Have we seen anybody else walking around with weapons in the village?
No, but then it's not really something people tend to do. Walking around in villages with weapons, you would take a weapon out to the woods
Okay.
or out to the fields to hunt with it.
Yeah, rabbits are. What time of year is it?
It is June.
Yeah, rabbits are definitely in season. So we're just hunting rabbit, just hunting game.
It's not a bad idea.
Hunting game on a lord's land.
Yeah, well, we'll just have to explain our way out of that one. But yes, I mean, the Lord's Land is the best place to get the game, as we all know from the Robin Hoods.
It's also the best way to get thrown in prison.
But rabbit is more of an autumn and winter
Is it?
game. Yeah.
Is deer summer?
Deer's fall.
Deer is fall? Can't remember the different things in the seasons.
Well, would we know the law on hunting?
Well, I mean, we can hunt vermin, I would imagine.
Yeah, anything that was a detriment to the king, we can kill. But the deer are his.
In reality, I mean, you don't really need a cover. I mean, you are allowed to carry your muskets with you, as you are soldiers, whether in uniform or not. But in terms of the hunting aspect, yes, hunting on someone else's land would be a serious matter.
And I don't quite understand why 4 people need muskets to walk around a wall and see if it's solid all the way around. One person can do that recon and bring the info back to you.
It's so we keep the party together.
Yeah, we're not playing Call of Cthulhu. We're soldiers. We're tactical. Let's be tactical.
Okay. Jean, you may go do it, and we will...
I have my own ideas as to what to do.
Okay.
But,
then we will go, and Jean, you can go do whatever the hell you want to do.
with your permission. No,
You have my permission.
All right. What I am going to do, Monsieur Keeper, is I am going to try and chat up some of the more unsavory elements in the town. The ones where I might be able to obtain contraband. And in doing so, I am going to ask a few questions along the way about the lord of the manor, so to speak. But I'm definitely looking for the reject pile of people.
Daytime drinkers.
Yeah.
That is such big. Okay. Well, it'll take you a while to sort of sniff out a likely
Okay.
a likely person. So we'll go and do the reconnaissance of the wall now.
Okay.
So the reconnaissance party. You walk up to the chateau, or the gates of the chateau. Baban is there with his small puppy, sitting in a bush, perhaps sitting on a tump.
She's just gonna jump out with the dog. Oh no!
Got my axe out, badly like whittling a replacement hand.
All right. How are the grounds looking from here? Are there people kind of milling about?
There is a very long driveway.
Yes.
At the end of that driveway is a large dark house. Scarcely more visible in the daytime than it was at night. The grounds appear to be quite heavily overgrown. Lots of overgrown rose bushes and brambles.
Is there a hill nearby?
No, it's quite flat around here.
All right. So no chance for higher ground.
I'm a tree.
That's true. It's a good idea. So with that, we should just find our way, a good vantage point, and have Yosef climb a tree and take a look, see what he can see.
Okay. Righty-ho.
Tidy-ho.
Ugel, I will need a climb roll, please.
Ooh, 57 out of 40.
Oh dear. Well, you try to get up the tree, but you just can't quite seem to get the footing on it. The lowest branches just seem to be a little bit too high for you. Perhaps a little bit too thin and bendy. And it's very difficult to get a purchase to get up it. So
Right.
for the time being, you can't seem to find a tree that really fits the bill.
Yosef, is this your first time climbing trees?
No, but as you can see, even with my small frame, I feel I'm going to break those branches. We'll circle around and look for a better tree, better vantage point.
This is what happens when the Lord does not take care of his land. Thin trees overgrow everything. The soil is damp and terrible.
Those overgrown rose bushes can give us cover if we need to get in there, though.
That's true. The rose bushes. Is there? This is probably a no. Was there a garden that stretched into or towards the manor?
Yes, yeah. I mean, it looks very much like an overgrown garden. The roses are very odd.
Describe odd. Like, what do you mean?
Well, they're very strange colours, as though they strike you as being rather rare, as though the garden was possibly planned by someone who had very peculiar tastes. The quality seems at odds with the lack of care. I mean, some of them. They're all kinds of colours you've never seen before in roses. Aquamarine, turquoise, silver.
Silver roses.
Grass green. Some of them look like they're almost black.
Okay, well that's definitely odd. I mean, roses change color when there's like water that's died, but we don't know that.
I mean, everything is overgrown, but I mean it's abundantly overgrown. It's it's not weedy and overgrown. It's fecund and healthy, and it is luxuriant.
Lush. Yeah.
Yes, it looks like if anything, it looks like it's richly fertilized, but lacking any pruning or maintenance.
So it's just not being tended to. It's just kind of just expanding and engulfing.
Mm.
Well, then, Joseph, that is a very damn good idea. We could weave our way through that overgrowth and get to the house under the cover of night. Because I am imagining, I think Babon's right. I think that the only option that we have, because I suspect all of our ploys and tricks won't work. I think this is why we're doing this. I think our only way is to somehow get in and then traipse through as soldiers and find something and leave.
I agree. And if we do happen to notice dogs there, I want to make contact with them today before we go in to feed them. So maybe it'll remember our scent and think of food instead of intruders.
That's
Could work, could not.
What was that, Michelle?
I was thinking about these bushes, and I don't know. I just want to test a theory. If I can get myself a spade or something like that to do a little digging around, I mean, all we need is some sort of proof, right?
Oh, I look at you, Michelle, and I kind of raise an eyebrow, and I say, "You suspect," and
that he's murdered several people and has them buried out here,
which would explain the health of the roses.
Yeah.
But if a servant dies, has no family, he gave him a Christian burial on his land. It could be explained away.
Well, this is not a Christian.
I agree with you.
A Christian burial would be a plot of land, a headstone, and a priest coming out, and it would be well tended. To me, it looks like an area where you would dump a body, you would bury it, and then just leave it to overgrow like this so that it doesn't more or less cause any sort of attention or draw any sort of attention. It looks like just weedy bramble over here.
Oh, I agree, and I'm sure that's what's under there, but he'll be able to spin it. We need more solid proof than that.
Well, I think it's a good start, though.
Yeah, and it also depends on who's buried underneath there. If it's a nobleman.
That's true.
A woman.
Let's hope that he was dumb enough to dump a body with clothes on it, and that those clothes happen to be that of an aristocrat, which I'm sure they would have noticed, but they would have noticed one of their own going missing. But anything's possible. I'm more concerned with the color of the roses. Have any of you seen anything like that?
No.
Never.
Definitely something wrong with that soil. Roses don't grow like that. Well, let's keep going, Joseph. Let's try your climbing skills in a more sturdy tree. If you fall out of that one, I'm going to say it's you, not the tree.
No, we can look for another one. Somebody give me a boost up to the. I'm a little, I'm kind of short here. Remember that.
By the time you reach the back wall of the property, and just measuring your steps, you would estimate that the wall, the side wall, was about 350 feet long. You get about a third of the way along the what you presume to be the back wall of the estate, and there's a tree there that sort of fits the bill. It looks climbable. Admittedly, the other one looked climbable, but you feel reasonably confident that you could give this one a go.
I'll give you a roll. 25. 25 out of 40.
Okay, it takes you a while, but you manage to sort of edge your way up the tree. and you find a relatively sturdy branch on which you can lean, and take out your spyglass and have a look around. So what you see, again, you see a very overcrowded garden, a very overgrown garden. But you can make out the house, which sits roughly in the center of the property. And you can see that the overgrown area has been cleared, both around the house and around what would have been the gardens proper at the back of the house, which consists really of 4 gardens set out around a gazebo in the center.
Is it rectangular? The wall, is it like rectangular, or is it a square?
As far as you can tell, the wall that you're looking over, the wall around the estate, appears to be square and roughly the same size on each side.
Okay.
The gardens themselves, they're laid out with, there are 4 small gardens near the house, which are sort of laid out in a sort of grid pattern. There's a rectangular walkway around the outside of them, and there are walkways bisecting, so that the 4 are there with a small gazebo in the middle, and something that should be there that isn't shown on the map. Oh, how marvelous. Thank you so very much.
Chaosium proofreaders.
That's 2 for this episode.
What? That's not... Either they think that word means something else. Yes, as I say, the whole thing is laid out around an ornamental fountain in the middle. Not a gazebo, an ornamental fountain.
Joseph, what do you see up there?
Well, I relay the information that you just told me back to them for, to save time. And then can I see into any of the windows with the spyglass? Do I see people milling around? Any dogs? Do I see a carriage house?
Make a spot hidden.
Okay, let me just... 57 out of 70.
You're looking through the spyglass, and you... Oh, right. Sorry, there is a gazebo in the middle. Sorry, I suddenly now understand what's going on. At the end of each of the 4 paths, there seem to be ornamental fountains with statues of some sort in them. With the lenses on the telescope, it's you can't really make out what they are at this distance. You're still a bit too far away. But you are somewhat drawn to the fact that the gravel appears to be black, and that just strikes you as quite odd. You've never seen black gravel before, and at first you wondered what it was and why it was so dark. But you can't see any sign of dogs. There are every now and then you'll see a footman or some sort of servant will wander through. Not crowded by any means, but there are occasional people moving around. The house is certainly occupied And the same goes for the house itself. When trying to look into the windows, all you're really aware of is that people occasionally cross in front of the window. It's impossible to tell whether they're male or female. It's more just, you can just see people moving around inside the house, but you can see the house is certainly under occupancy.
Now, is there any armed guards or any like a little guard house or anything that's visible?
You can see nothing of that kind.
Okay. I'm just going to do it once over again, unless there's anything else that catches my attention. I don't want to get spotted either, so I want to come back down. And then I relay exactly what Mick had told us, just for, time's sake, instead of repeating it. But I do mention about the black, it was very noticeable about the black stones. And how many doors do I see?
You're looking closer at the house.
Yes.
It's a 3-bedroom house. You can see that at the rear of the house, which is what you're looking at, you can see to the side there are a couple of doors just off of off to the side of what looks like the coach court for the house. You take that probably to be the kitchen because it's at the back. There are some big doors on the coach court. You can see people are coming and going from time to time. One man comes out with some tack. Another man goes in a little later with a barrow full of bales of hay.
And the doors are closed for the coach house?
There are 2 large doors. One of them is open.
And there's no chance of seeing if that carriage, the infamous carriage, is in there?
You can't see any sign of that from
okay. And servants' quarters, does it look like just one building? They don't have separate servants' quarters?
It just looks like one 3-story building. So you would assume
the back,
probably the servants' quarters are at the top of the house.
Oh, top of the house.
Yeah. But looking at the house, it's a strange house. It's an odd melange of different architectural styles. Some bits look Grecian, other bits look medieval. It's got 2 broken down towers, but as you look closely at them, they look like they're all broken down towers, but viewing them through the spyglass, you can see they're actually quite new. They're probably an affectation, a folly. You know that aristocrats are prone to do these things. It's an English fashion they've taken over, but there's just something really weird about the building. It's just none of it seems to be at right angles to any other part, and the roof isn't straight. The walls almost look as though they're tumbling down. And
now, does it look like
a very unsettling effect on you?
Does it look like an older structure built with a newer structure, built with a newer, or it's just made to look like that? Like, in other words, they had an old house and they built around it and added on over years, or?
It looks as though it's a variety of different styles and different editions. Some of them reasonably new, some of them older, but as though over time, yes, it looks like the house has been added to over time. With the towers looking most obviously newest rather.
So besides the back door, which possibly would be a kitchen, are there any other windows that are able to be climbed into, or is there any other entrances that I could see?
Oh, there are plenty of windows on the second and third floors.
Okay.
But on the ground floor, it's very difficult to see. All you can see is the kitchen windows. The rest of the ground floor is obscured by the coach court.
Okay. And the coach court's separate building, or is it attached?
It's built onto the back of the house.
Okay. All right. So I'm thinking maybe the kitchen might be the best way through. So I'll just do, like I said, just take another glance over, and then I'll head back down.
Okay.
Well,
And I relay verbatim what you had told me to the rest of the group.
well, it means we can go through. We can go through the back door, the front door, windows.
That black gravel caught my eye a few times. It's something I've never seen, actually.
Well, and I pull out a piece from my pocket because I reached down through the bars of the gate and grabbed it last episode. And I say, it's very interesting, the color. You think it's something that's not, particularly interesting or important, but I've never seen anything like this. And I think that this and the roses, they tie together. It's just odd. Like, it's
Michelle,
not.
have you?
Oh, go ahead.
Michelle, if you've ever seen it, I take a closer look. You hold it up to the light. Is there anything unusual, or maybe he has seen something?
I don't think I would have. Doesn't look familiar to me, does it, Gene? Should I?
No, it doesn't look. I mean, it just looks like a small black piece of stone.
Doesn't look any different for me. To me, I mean, is there any sort of markings on it? Like maybe is it smooth? Like what's the?
It's a small black piece of gravel. It's
like okay.
very, very much. If you looked at a normal gravel drive,
Mm-hmm.
you'd probably find a few bits here and there that looked exactly like this.
Okay.
But the notion that someone would go to the lengths of sorting out all the black bits and only buying them seems to you at once both patently ridiculous and very much the sort of thing an aristocrat would probably do.
And expensive.
Oh yeah.
It seems like to you it seems more like an absurdly ostentatious thing to do rather than anything sinister.
Okay.
Almost sickeningly so.
Odd.
Not sure what else we can gather here right now.
Well, we now know that we can get to the house through the brambles, the overgrowth, and then we could possibly go through the back door and into the home. We should also follow up on your lead, Michelle. Maybe get to a spade so you can just do a little bit of digging, a claw to just do a little bit of digging and see what's just beneath the bramble.
Okay.
Because I think there's bodies down there.
So do I.
All right. Well, let's head back to the inn. Eventually, Etienne and Jean will return to the inn, and we should just relay what we found here on this mission.
And if we do go in at night, stay off the gravel. It tends to make a lot more noise than the grass will.
Yes, we're gonna have to figure out a way to go. I think we should just go right over the wall and into the grass.
Maybe we bring out a blanket from the inn to throw over the top. Help cover a little bit.
Smart.
Or even maybe some hay and wrap it in and stick it onto it and use it to leap over. Or a ladder if we can find one.
Probably a stretch, but Mick, was it possible that, knowing that we'd be doing traveling and weather's inconsistent, did we bring bedrolls or no?
Yes. Yes, I think
Could use
soldiers. You would have brought your bedrolls with you.
Yeah, we could just bedroll it. Oh my God, that's badass.
It's ridiculous overkill. You guys are playing Call of Cthulhu. Your soldiers just jump over the wall and run across the grass. Come on.
Let's head back to the inn.
It's worth bearing in mind as well that, knowing you were coming on this sort of mission, I would be prepared to say that amongst the supplies you would probably have thought to bring with you would have been some rope.
Yes.
I think
we mentioned rope and a lockpick. Yeah. We had a 5-minute thing about the Skyrim lockpick. So, yeah, no, we brought those. All right, back to the inn with us.
Okay. Right, well, while you've been traipsing around the wall, looking for trees to climb, Baban, give me a listen roll.
Oh, this is where my time in the artillery corps has not been beneficial. Oh my God. Well, I probably didn't hear anything, but Prince probably did. I actually got a 3 out of my base 20, so I actually made it.
Okay. Well, it's more of it's a physical sensation.
Oh.
It is not difficult for it's difficult to miss it. You hear or you are aware of a cart rumbling up the road towards you. And as it comes into view, you see that it's pulled by one quite nice-looking grey horse, but it appears to be a tradesman's cart.
It's coming from town towards the...
It's coming from the direction of town towards the house, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I guess I'll wait till they come that way. And does it look like it's somebody in like the clothes of a noble, or does it look like there's a tradesman from town going in?
As it gets closer, it looks very much like it's just a couple of tradesmen with their wagon, with a covered wagon. It rolls past you and comes to a stop at the gates of the estate, and a man appears behind the gate. Words are spoken. You can't tell what it is. You can see them speaking to each other. You can't hear anything at that distance. And then the gates are opened, and the cart rumbles in.
Looking over the cart, is there anything like in the back of it that looks like it kind of stands out? Like, does this look like this is like a like a cart full of weapons, or like full of household goods, supplies?
Yeah, then you can clearly see, without having to make a spot hidden roll for it, you can clearly see a number of crates of wine.
Okay.
In the back, and various other bits and pieces. There's nothing written on the side of the of the cart, though.
The provisions of nobility, basically.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
It doesn't say like Fortnum et Maison. Something. Moet et Chambon.
Okay. And basically they're just like they open the gate, bring the thing in,
They open
or
the
they
gate, bring
unload
it in, gate closes, and
Okay.
you watch as the cart just rumbles off up the driveway towards the chateau.
Okay. Um. Okay. Okay. Well, Petit Prince, I suppose that is a bit of a problem. If they do not leave the manor, I guess there's not much we can do except watch. I guess, yeah, I keep whittling away and kind of just keep an eye on the entrance, see if there's anything else unusual that goes on.
Okay. Well, if you're sitting there for the rest of about 45 minutes later, the same cart emerges from the estate, goes past you in the other direction.
As
This
it
time
comes,
you can very clearly see that it's empty.
okay. As it comes out, yeah, I'll wave at the people and bonjour. How are you doing today? Lovely day, is it not?
The carter sort of nods and grudgingly just says, "Ça va?"
Well, the appetites of the aristocracies, they never cease, do they?
Where? And he just sort of he's halfway off by the time he's replied to you.
Okay. Well, it's not really notable for the purposes of heading back, so I'm gonna hang out and keep watching it after that as I continue
Okay.
to badly whittle myself a replacement wooden hand with my hatchet.
Okay, well we'll move across and do Dupois. After an hour and a half of observation and eavesdropping, you've narrowed it down to a couple of fellows who are sitting in the corner of the inn. You haven't been able to catch their names, but you've noticed a number of people have been going up, talking to them, buying drinks, then walking outside with them, and then not coming back in, as though they've been going outside to do deals and things with people. And you think that if anyone in this place is going to be a person of low repute, it's going to be these two fellows. You can see that. I mean, they look like quite shady people just by looking at their faces. They look quite disreputable. Now, they could potentially be Jesuit priests. You might be completely wrong, but to you, they look like shady types.
Yes, and they could still be Jesuit priests. So I give them the eye, and I grab a bottle of wine, and I walk over, and just in a very sort of, I guess, I'm trying to convince them that I am like them. And I put the bottle down and I say, "How are you gentlemen drinking?"
Oh, we are always drinking, monsieur. Always drinking.
So
there is so little else to do with life.
I spend a few minutes sort of making their acquaintances and sharing a drink with them, and then I'm like, "So, I am a traveler. I'm moving through this area. I was just wondering if there were any opportunities that you might know of where one could gain the necessities of life, you know.
Oh well, I mean it's market day, monsieur. You know, this is
I was never very good at that sort of thing. I noticed. I once again, it takes a while to build this up, but I eventually get around to being like, I notice the people here, they're not exactly the rich people. There's not too much you could gain here, but I noticed a big house over down the road. How dangerous would it be to try and gain a little? You know what I mean?
one of them starts just laughing. What, you thinking of going over the wall?
I don't know. Maybe. What is in behind the wall?
Oh well, how can I put this? The Aristo lives there. He does not have a good reputation.
Yeah, but
He's a hard man. You know, no, there are stories. There are stories. There's nothing more. But I heard from a man who heard from a man who heard from a man who knew someone who was going to go over there and go over the wall and look for that man's silverware. If you get my drift.
I know exactly what you are saying. And what happened to this man?
The next morning, old Louis, the poacher, said he found a rope hanging from the wall with knots in it, like a man had climbed up. And the man who went over the wall was never seen again.
But maybe he went in there while the master was there. What if we wait until the master is not there?
There are footmen. There are.
So what you are saying is it is a pretty dangerous place to try and break into.
We.
And this
it has a reputation.
We. What sort of things go on there that you know of? Have you ever? It's an
Aristo. You know what these aristos. It's all parties and decadence and.
Decadence.
You know what they're like.
So he has people over once in a while, parties and.
Oh, there are people go up there. I'm told very well connected people go there. I've better things to do than sit out and watch who goes up to an old house in the country.
Is he here all the time, or is he a recluse? He stays in his home.
I think sometimes he is in Paris. He's in Versailles. You know, they say he is well connected with the king and the queen, as so they call her.
Really?
Yeah.
God curse them all. Them and their money and their power.
No, the time is coming. The time is coming, my friend.
So what are his servants like? Are they easy? Are they hard like him? Are they afraid of him?
Well, and at that point, the other man cuts him off and says, his servants, they are a bad-tempered shower of bastards, monsieur.
Oh. Yeah, he probably beats them, yeah?
I would welcome him to do it. I've on 2 occasions in here I have met men who work up at that house And there's neither of them I would give the sweat from my ass. They are rude.
Well, then maybe I better look elsewhere for my my livelihood. There's
Yeah,
not
you would
much
be-
in this town.
No, you would be well served to leave Poissy, monsieur. It is not a good time for Poissy at the moment.
And not a good time for the aristos. From what I gather, things are getting very bad.
Well, it is not without reason that they sit behind high walls.
That is true.
Soon time will come for those walls to tumble.
Now, have they already started the General Assembly? Has that already happened?
It's in the stages of what's happened at the moment is that the Third Estate are petitioning for equality with the First and Second Estates. So the General Assembly is just about to come into existence in the next few weeks.
Okay.
So at the moment, it's a kind of rising tide right now.
Well, I hope that we are on the side that wins.
Well, we certainly have numbers, that's for sure.
That is true. We outnumber them
We pay all
1,000.
the bastard taxes.
Then it will be easy to go into his house and take what we want.
It is ours anyway.
This is true. Anyways, I continue talking to him like this, but do I glean any more info out of him?
Make a spot hidden roll.
Oh, 1.
Both the men are very much in their cups. It's only the morning, and they're already quite pissed.
Mm-hmm.
So they're very free with their words, and their contempt for aristos in general. They make no attempt to disguise it, and they're even quite critical. They don't. At no point do they name Fenelek. They just refer to the aristocrat who lives up there and his bad-tempered. His bad-tempered servants. But for all their bravado, you still notice that every once in a while they'll say something and they'll just trail off for a moment and just discreetly look around the inn just to see if they can catch anyone out looking at them. And both of the men do this from time to time. And it seems to you very, very obvious that they know that someone could be listening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this was really the same kind of feeling that came up last night as well.
Yeah. They're obviously Fenelek. Well, these ill-mannered servants probably are spies as well. So Fenelek thinks he owns all this area. Well, he probably does. So they're cautious. I get that. But not cautious enough because they're drunk. So.
No, they're drunk, but they're still a little wary.
Right.
Perhaps even it's just a habit.
So do they drop any other vital information, and we can move on?
No, not really.
Okay.
It's all very very vague.
So I know at least that the making friends with the servants is probably not a good idea. All right. So after that, I head back to the room as well, or up to it.
Okay.
In fact, I probably see them come in, don't I?
I would say so, yes.
As they go up. All right. So I head up too. So, messieurs, what did you find out?
I turned to Joseph because he was the one who found the majority of everything.
I assume that you relate to me everything that you did.
Correct. Yep.
So, if the Count is receiving shipments of wine, that tells us that he has a wine cellar.
Possibly, yeah.
I wonder if there is another way in.
You wouldn't think of getting a cart and trying to just be another shipment, would you?
They would know.
Yeah.
I'm thinking there may be a place on the property access to the wine cellar. That is a long shot, but what I learned is we need to avoid the servants. They are, from what I have learned, are ill-tempered, and everyone is afraid that they are being spied upon. So we must be careful.
Well, it looks like there's access to the stables. I don't know if that connects into the house, and then there's the kitchen.
No, it probably would not. The kitchen would.
So, or a second floor window.
Listen, it is likely that in the middle of the night, the servants will all be upstairs. So there would be probably no one on the bottom floor.
If he has guards, his footmen, I'm sure there'd be a patrol. But
I
one
don't know
man.
why a man living out here in the country would need guards. It's not like we're under.
Well, all the aristos are now being a little cautious due to everything that's going on. It would only be wise to have a little extra backup. Prepare for the worst, and if nothing happens, then c'est la vie.
It also sounds to me like you mentioned the black gravel. An aristo being obsessive about some silly thing like that is right in line with most of these extravagant bastards. And then you mentioned the roses too. They're probably just some exotic plants he brought from some other place to grace his garden.
But all of that proves he has money to waste. And what is a couple shillings or whatever the term is, francs for some simple garment?
So how do we get in? Do we go in the middle of the night? We just have to be stealthy and careful. We have to make sure that if there is a patrol, although I don't know why there would be, that they are on that side when we go on this side. We must be stealthy. I don't know what they were looking for in the house, but like Michelle said, if we could find some evidence of wrongdoing, you mentioned bodies, I don't know how we would be able to tell if there were aristocrats buried in the ground. Or why he would bury anyone in the ground.
Let's hope he keeps it.
To find out if they're aristocrats, you would just look at the remains of their hands, and if the little finger is poking up like that, is buried like that, then they're aristocrats.
Common folk have serial numbers on their arms, on the bone.
Well, and to be quite honest, I don't believe that an aristo would dig a hole.
Well, he would have one dug.
Yeah.
But let's hope somebody who thinks himself as much as he does would keep a diary of everything he did.
Sorry, I know this is very disruptive to do this when I'm the one GMing, but I'm afraid I'm just going to have to step out for a second and get some eye drops. I'll be
All
very
right.
sorry.
We will talk behind your back.
I think
So,
somebody's got a hot mic going on.
I definitely hear a hot mic.
I was just typing that in.
It was Wayne. He just
Oh,
muted.
there we are.
Went away. I just think we must be stealthy. We must go over the wall, sneak up to the house, make sure everybody is upstairs and asleep, get into his house, look around, see if we can find anything.
That's really the only thing we can do. I think.
The dead of night.
Yeah, dead of night.
We must be careful, quiet.
Well, let me tell you right now, I am not particularly stealthy. I'm not good on my feet.
I am very stealthy.
Okay. People who are clumsy and not good on their feet should not go into the house for
That's what
risk
I
of
was
hurting
thinking.
everyone.
I'm stealthy.
Was there a lock on the gate? Do we look at the lock? We didn't get close enough to the gate to look at the lock, did we? Or you?
I imagine, I don't think Mick mentioned it, but I imagine that the gate is locked and that a guy has to come down and unlock it and open it.
Probably just barred,
Yeah,
if anything.
because a guy had to come down and open the gate to let the cart in from the other side. So, yeah, I think that Babone's right. I think that it's just barred from the other side, and once someone gets over the wall, they can just open the gate. We can all
That's that's what I was gonna say. Ooh, excuse me, guys.
It is a question of what we will find inside. We may find nothing at all, but what an aristocrat would have in his home. We cannot go upstairs. If he has something upstairs, we will not be able to find it. The servants will no doubt hear us if we come upstairs. We can search the first floor. We can search the basement.
Yeah.
Well, who of us is the stealthiest?
Well, that you can't ask, because how do you compare those?
Who is clumsy on their feet?
You can't.
We probably know from our time together.
Yeah, I'm not good on my feet.
Ugel is quite a sneaky one.
I am fairly sneaky.
Good.
I am not.
I cannot hear the sound of my own footfalls.
Yeah, Babon, you probably shouldn't go inside. You should probably stay inside.
Now, I wonder if there might just be someone in the kitchen at all times.
No.
No?
No. Why?
Tending the stove or the keeping the... Oh, it's summer, yeah.
No. Somebody would if they wanted somebody to eat, they'd go wake somebody up. And
Right, but they bake bread daily. And bread is...
break bed maybe 4 o'clock in the morning. So.
Okay.
They'd be up at dawn.
Okay.
Something that should be pointed out, me and Jose were there towards, not late at night, but during the night, and lights were on. There's probably going to be someone up. Not walking around, but someone will be awake. Unless we go at like 3 o'clock in the morning, which I suggest we do.
You know what we're all forgetting? This is something that I learned when I was in Greece. I was in areas where they didn't have electricity. And of course, they don't have electricity at this period of time. They don't have gaslight either. They have lanterns. Everyone goes to bed when the sun goes down because there's nothing you can do. Lantern light is really not good for anything. You can barely read with it. So everybody goes to sleep when the sun goes down, and they get up when the sun comes up. If we go at midnight, it's very likely people have been asleep for hours already. Unless there's a party. And if there's a party, we would know there was a party because there'd be torches everywhere. And
well, I also suspect that Fenelek is not here.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But we won't know until we go. So I say that we just wait until nightfall. We go, we prepare. We have Yosef climb the fence. He opens the gate. We go in, and we figure it out from there.
Well, don't you think we should all just go over the fence, over the gate, over the wall? We have rope.
I suspect that the walls will be difficult to climb. And if someone were to fall and hurt themselves or fall and make noise, it could alert dogs, or it could alert the horses, or it could alert someone inside. And thus, I would rather have one person go over and then, only have to essentially make only one roll.
You don't think that there's somebody out there by the front gate in case Fenelon comes home in the middle of the night? The guard just sitting there, probably asleep. He'd wake up if
It's
somebody.
not. I mean, it's a 10-foot wall, but
it's got spikes on the top of it. You just throw the rope over the hook.
It's not impossible. I mean, you used to climb walls that size back home. They're not much bigger than 2 meters.
We're soldiers.
So we'll all just go over the wall. That's fine. Doesn't matter how we get in as long as we get in. Michelle, you wanted to bring a trowel. I think that's a good idea.
What are you going to bring a trowel for? Why?
We're going to dig in the dirt to find a body.
His bayonet can substitute as that.
Sure.
That's what we use when we have to make.
Just a pocket knife. I think that is a waste of time, but do what you will.
Well, it could be a waste of time, but at the same time, I mean, it could give us the evidence and we don't have to completely go in there,
I don't know why you would think there would be anything buried there. They're just roses growing.
Perhaps I'm wrong. I just have this hunch. It doesn't hurt to...
No, doesn't. Follow your hunch. Your hunch might be right.
All right. Let's go to the... let's just wait. Let's go to the...
rest.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you have a decent meal. We'll assume you have a decent meal, and by about 9:30, it's getting quite dark.
Let's make our way to the back of the wall.
And someone give me a luck roll. Unless you want me to. Actually, I'll look it up. That's what I'll do. I'll actually look it up for you. It's a full moon this evening.
Right,
a hunter's moon, as it were.
We would be able to see without illumination.
Good thing.
But we will have to be careful crossing the lawn.
It will certainly make the business of climbing the wall a little easier, given that you can actually see what you're doing.
All right. Where are we? Are we behind the wall now?
Yes. Yes. You're all in position behind the wall. Now, are you all going over, or is just one person going over?
I suspect we're all going over. That was the plan. We're all going over.
You're the sergeant. You tell us what.
We're all going over.
Okay.
Except for Pressy, who is still back at.
He's asleep. He's tired. Got a long night. Yeah.
My one concern, Mon Sergeant, we may want to prepare a quick egress. Maybe make sure we have the rope ready to go, or the gate open and unlocked, unbarred, so that we can flee at haste if we need it.
You and me, Etienne, we had the exact same thought. I was planning on staying behind with you, and you and me can kind of plan our escape if need be and be lookouts. You can't hear very well, so I thought you'd be you'd be the eyes and I'd be the ears. How about that?
That works. Otherwise, I was planning to go in, follow in the footsteps of our more dexterous companions, and make my way around. But out here on watch, that works too.
Look, if you see me running towards you, one of you step on the wall. If you see me running towards you and 2 fucking dogs are following behind me, you grab my hands and pull me over the wall.
That is the plan.
Yeah?
That's the plan.
All right.
Okay, well, for those of you going over the wall, I am going to need a climb roll from you, please.
I'm having some difficulty.
So am I. 88.
You need to throw the rope and climb.
What is the base for climb? 'Cause I don't have it.
20.
20. Oh, I got a 12. So I'm able to climb.
Yeah, well, you're very tall. You just sort of jump off a bit and hoist yourself over.
So then can he help us up?
Yes, he can. I will let you push your rolls on the basis that he is helping
Oh,
you.
great.
Oh, no. They know you're breaking in.
Cheese it, it's the bed.
So what do we need to do?
French police don't sound like that. They sound more like an accordion. They go,
Sorry.
So what do we need to push our rolls?
05.
I'm going to let you push your rolls because someone's helping you over the thing.
Right, but what do we need to do? Just roll again?
Just roll again.
I got an 05.
I got closer. I got 32.
Okay.
I am having trouble getting over the wall.
Well, I think if the other 2 are on the top of the wall,
Okay.
I'm going to let them just pull you up.
All right.
I won't get my revenge by having you fall into a large puddle or something in the same way that my characters always nearly drown when they fail a climb roll. But you'd be pulled up.
Or fall in the cistern. Yeah.
But then you've got to get down the other side, which is going to require a jump roll.
Can we just pull the rope over to the other side and climb down the rope? We already have it tied off on the top.
It would be quite difficult for you to do that.
Okay, it's just a 10-foot jump.
Yeah, it's just a jump.
That I passed.
There you go.
We got to be quiet, though.
I got a
39. 39 out of 55. Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
All right, let's go.
You will pass.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
so we're gonna skirt around to where the wall is closest to the house, and then cross over to the house.
Well, that's a moot point, really, because the house is in the center of the estate, so the wall is at all times equidistant. But where you're coming in, presumably, if you're coming in from the vantage point where Ugel was spying on the house earlier on, you're coming in from the rear of the house. So you are initially pushing your way through the undergrowth.
Okay. Do we see any lights on in the house?
You can't see the house yet.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to need all 3 of you to make dex rolls.
Fucking roses. 22 out of 45. Oh, that's exactly half.
Ooh, I got 50 on the dot. 50 out of 50.
I got 61 out of 60. Can I use 1 luck point?
No.
Okay.
On this occasion, you can't. You're going to take 1 point of damage from Thorn.
Eugel,
Oh.
your long, luxurious hair is tangled on the rosebud.
1 point of damage, you said?
Yes. However, because you're in such dense undergrowth, if you do need to make a stealth roll, you'll get a bonus die for your stealth rolls. So
Is that for everybody?
that is for everybody at the moment. While you're in the cover. If you
Yes, easily
make a
pass.
stealth roll. Well, you don't need to make a stealth roll yet.
Okay.
There's not anyone to potentially see you at the moment.
I see. Okay.
But having moved through the undergrowth a bit further, you can now see the house, and the house is lit up.
Shit.
There are lots of lights in the windows.
Man. Why is the house lit up? Is he home? I want to move a little bit more to see if it looks like there's activity in the house.
Okay.
Party or
How close are we now to the house?
Well, you're just at the rear of the property. So you're in the overgrown part of the garden. Then there's a sort of slightly cleared area. And then there are the 4 small gardens behind the house. Pushing through the undergrowth, it's a little easier to get through this side because at some point it would have been trimmed a little. Moving to the edge of it, you can see that not only are there lights, but there are people moving inside. Quite a lot of people by the looks of it.
Putain de bombe, la bordel de mer. We need to abort.
And while that itself may seem interesting, what really catches your eye, picked out rather sinisterly in the moonlight, is the fountain in front of the gardens, which is now directly in front of you. And it would seem to be, for those of you who remember your Greek myths, it seems to be a statue atop the fountain. Seems to be a statue of Icarus. But instead of the feathered wings he has in the famous story, he has bat's wings,
like a devil or a demon.
And the truly crazed expression on the eyes of the statue. So much so that I'd like all 3 of you to make a sanity roll, please.
What is this man? My sanity. Pass.
I got a 60, so I passed as well.
20, I passed.
Okay, no one loses any sanity, but you're all a bit shaken. It's this is not the sort of thing you're used to seeing.
This man is like a devil worshipper.
I mean, you're not ignorant. You're Parisians. You're surrounded by statues and art. Paris is one of the great artistic centers of the world. You're familiar with art, and art stirs the soul. It's uplifting, but this is, especially in the moonlight, is just
terrifying,
dreadful. Yeah. It's horrible. It has a certain quality to it that you can't quite put your finger on, but it seems, something about it just seems a little too realistic.
I sort of envision that we're all laying on our bellies, where we're in the undergrowth and we're peeking out from underneath it, so that nobody would notice us or see us there. Are there? You see, there are people milling about. Are they aristos?
Again, because of the distance from the house, you can't really tell. There are just people moving around in the house. There do seem to be a great many people, and it would be reasonable of you to assume, I think, that it was some sort of party or gathering of some sort.
Well, let's continue. If we can't break in now, we can at least do some recon. Let's observe and see what's going on.
Well, from where you are, there are essentially three ways that you could get up to the house. You could either go around the sides of the gardens, the four gardens in the middle, or you could go straight through along the central path. Now you're dressed in dark clothes. The gravel is black, and there's a gazebo providing cover in the middle, so it's not completely open. Similarly, you have the overgrown foliage on either side if you were to go around the sides.
Let's go around the sides. The gravel will make too much noise.
I'll pass Dubois the spyglass, see if he can spot something before we move.
Yeah. So I pull out the spyglass.
Okay, give me a spot hidden roll.
27 out of 45.
Again, it's you're only getting fleeting glimpses of people, but from the kind of colors that you're seeing and the flashes of wigs and so forth, you can tell that this is a party that's being attended by aristos.
Can we hear any music?
No.
Yes, the aristos. Maybe we can get a look in the window, but we must be very, very stealthy.
Very careful, yes.
So let's move around the edges. We don't want to walk on the gravel. It'll make too much noise.
All right.
Okay. Where are you going? Left or right?
Left.
Okie dokie. Okay. Well, again, you still can't see anyone around. And as you come round that side, you notice that there is another fountain in front of you. Basically, it's at the end of the walkway from the garden. This one features what you take to be Cupid. But,
Arrows. Yeah, Cupid.
it's Cupid biting the neck of Psyche.
This is strange.
Which, it's quite unnerving, but you've already adjusted yourself to the idea that this gentleman has rather depraved tastes and statuary. But make a spot hidden roll for me, please.
44 out of 45.
Okay. And the other two?
19. 19.
Got a 32 out of 55.
Okay, so you've all passed, which means I'd like you all to make a sanity roll, please.
And that is a fail for me. I got myself an 85 out of 60.
41 out of 69.
So we passed and Michelle failed.
Yeah.
Yes. Michelle, take 1 point of sanity. You didn't notice with the other fountain because of its position. You were quite low down, and your attention was focused more on the house. But this time, you're walking past this fountain, and as you're looking at it, just for a moment, the moonlight catches the water, or well, should I say liquid, and you notice that instead of water, there seems to be a sort of a dark red,
Like blood.
like blood, but a red liquid.
Does it smell like blood?
You've
I imagine it would.
I can't make you
There's
roll
blood.
anything. It smells a little irony, but there are also well, no, your Dupois. So it smells a bit like wine, but it also smells metallic in the same way as blood.
Like copper, yeah.
Yeah,
It
it has a touch of both.
I think to myself, I think we see them bringing wine. Perhaps these are wine fountains. That would explain the wine.
They brought in a
Want some more?
couple
Want some more?
wagons.
Opulence beyond the norm. Well, we want to continue and sneak up next to the house.
Okay, well this time I am going to ask you all to make a stealth roll, please.
58 out of 70.
What are you?
No, I got myself a 95.
I didn't touch anything.
Oh, his
Oh
Lug.
God!
Oh,
No, I've got to hang on. I've just got to open up my Reign of Terror PDF again, because my tablet just searched for the phrase "I'm going to have to ask you all to make a stealth roll, please." But it got it perfectly. It really picked it up perfectly. Sorry, can you just tell me your results again? Because I got a bit distracted.
58 out of 70.
95.
68 out of 70.
Okay.
Michelle, stop shaking and making noise.
I don't think anyone's going to hear with that roll. No. Okay. Okay. Well, you sort of, Bowman, you kind of trip over yourself, or it may have been a bit of bracken. You're not really sure.
Watch yourself.
You don't lose your footing, but you sort of crash into the bushes briefly. And there's a moment where you're just alone, all of you alone with your breathing and your heartbeats, just waiting expectantly, just in case someone's heard you. But it seems as though there's no one there.
All right. So I would like to sneak up and look in the window. Just peek.
Okay. Well, from where you are, there's a large windowless structure built on the back of the house, which is what Ugel took to be a coach court or stables, and certainly as you move past it, you can hear the sound. You can hear people inside, and you can certainly hear the sound of horses from inside. It's quite a big structure. You have to walk. You have to sneak the side quite a way before you reach the first window. But peering in, you can see what appears to be a ballroom. It's a long, empty room with quite nice parquet floors. Okay. But there's nothing going on in there. What you can see, however, or you can just sort of make out, there's an open door leading into what appears to be the foyer of the building. This is where the majority of people are moving around. And there's something in the foyer. It's difficult to it's difficult to see what it actually is. All you can see is people are arriving, and as they come in, they're standing in front of something and sort of bowing or rocking forward or making some sort of gesture, but because of the position of the crack of the open door, you can't quite make out what it is. It could be a person, it could be an object, you can't tell.
Okay. And there's no better position we can get in to see what it is?
No, the best you can do by craning your head is that you can see that it's some sort of possibly white fabric, but that could be, it could be a robe, it could be a tablecloth.
All right.
It's difficult to tell from where you are.
All right, we are in too much danger. Let's go back. Quickly. Quietly.
I agree. We'll head back.
Okay, I'm definitely going to, because you're next to the house, I'm going to need another stealth roll, please.
48 out of 70.
I missed it by 1. 71 out of 70.
I got a 73. 73 out of 20.
Okay. Right. Well, with 2 fails, you're just moving back past the stables, and unbeknownst to you, there is a pail of water against the wall, and you don't knock it over, but you do knock into it, and it knocks against the wall.
Go.
And there's a very actually, give me a listen roll.
Double 0.
50.
I got an 89.
Got 56 out of 55.
At double zeros.
Oh, you got double 0. Shit. Well, that just means you're
Okay. Ugel's ears have fallen off.
It's his hair is in the way again.
Well, I tell you then, what I will give you, because you very nearly got your roll, I'll say that there was noise inside the stables building as you walked past on the way in. There was noise as you were coming past just now. That noise has abruptly stopped.
Okay, they heard us. Go, 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 go. Get into the underbrush.
Can we just run for it at this point?
Well, once we're in the underbrush, nobody will see us. Might see us. It's the moonlight's out. They'll see us running across the yard.
Yeah, give me a each of you give me a dex roll. If you're going back into the
16 out of 60.
36 out of 45.
I got a 25 out of 50, so it's a hard roll for me.
Okay, in that case, you all slip rather discreetly into the undergrowth. At which point, you managed to get yourself settled in for a few seconds when you notice the appearance around the side of the stables of two rather large, burly-looking men, one of whom is carrying a pitchfork and the other one is carrying a lantern. And on that note, we will leave it for this week.
Oh,
Managed to get a cliffhanger in there.
There you go. All right. Our players included Thomas McKeon, Wayne Worthy, Luke Strom, Jason Melnichuk, and myself, with Mick Swan as the keeper of the secrets. We're currently producing 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. If you'd like to become a patron, visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 helps us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us comments. We like reading them. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.
Amor